go ahead, kick it off to our casters for this October Sky Elysian Esports matchup. It's going to be Leafex and Findable Carpet. Take it away.
Thanks again, Golden. Boy, yes, Elysian and October Sky. Elysian, I'm very familiar with, play with these guys a lot. It's going to be a great match from them, but I have also heard of some of the guys from October Sky.
Yeah, I mean, with October Sky, I've definitely run into Infidel Castro, John, X-Blue. Not as much. I know on the other team, Gordito Bandito.
Gordito, best name ever, can we say? Best name ever.
I've run into him quite a bit. I've actually played with him frequently. But again, these are two teams that we don't know as well, especially some of the teams that we've seen in previous games, which is actually exciting for us. We get to see gameplay that we really don't know how to predict.
Yeah, I think it's going to be close. I'm going to, obviously, just because I know the guys say Elysian might pull ahead, but it's going to be an uphill battle for them because, again, I know some of these other guys too. So it's going to be a great match either way. Close. I'm hoping for them overtimes. We haven't seen any overtimes yet.
Yeah, I'd love to see it go 2-1. I see a lot of overtimes. 1-1 in the series, go to the last one. I don't know if we've seen that just yet. But like you said, it makes it very exciting. And for me, as someone that's followed the higher teams so readily, I love seeing the teams that I don't really know about because you get a lot of wild cards, a lot of curveballs, teams that just show face all of a sudden. You're like, what is happening? Like, where did this come from? And that's what I really hope to see some of that as some of these teams.
Yeah, no, and I got to give shout-outs for sure. A little bias, of course, with Arasi, another fellow Canadian. I love to see the Canadian scene very strong. Other esports, not so strong, Smash, whatever there else is, but Rocket League has been crazy, especially in the area I've been, and I love to see that. And obviously, I mean, they're taking notice, but they're pulling someone like me out here too, right?
Yeah, definitely.
But we have the match starting up right now. Elysian Esports versus October Sky. We're going to start it off on the kickoffs. We got John and the wonderful name of Gordito Bandito. On the kickoff, we got two Octanes once again. Those hitboxes, wonderful. Ball sitting around midfield. The Batman coming in from class. He's not going to be able to hit that one. As Blue now has a chance on a good rotation to get the ball out, but it is coming in front of their net. Arasi way up there in the air. Class to follow it up. Bandito trying to footsie that one and feel it out, but that shot's coming in. What a save from Arasi. That was in the net, and he still pulls it out. The feet of his Octane. A great save. That was a very close call already. They have a tough match, it looks like, already.
Yeah, oh man, Elysian sinking it in right there. Elysian seemed a little scary on defense. They weren't really coming out to meet it. They were letting the shot come to them, but it seemed like they had a good counterattack here. A missed defensive play there in the corner. I think it might have been Blue. I really didn't catch the nameplate there, but he tried to play it off the wall, and when the ball's coming that fast towards the wall, you got to be a really good player to pull that off. It's really not the position you want to place yourself.
Absolutely right. Class, though, carrying the ball into Orange's zone as he tries to set up a play for his teammates, but that's going to get stopped. But now it is in front of the net again. Infidel up to push that to midfield, followed up by John. That's going to go in front of the net. Blue tried to get a touch on it. It's still in front of the net. Infidel has a shot opportunity. Oh, my goodness, the mic is... This is in the net. What is going on? I don't even know what happened. What was going on?
That was a misplaced by everybody in so many whiffs. I don't think I've seen that in a very, very long time.
That is a highlight reel for sure.
Yeah, Orange just... wait, apologies. October Sky really wasn't putting the aggression on they needed to. They weren't reading each other's plays. They didn't have faith. All those whiffs. The ball was, like you said, it was floating in the net. It was 80% the blinky, scary. It's just about a net color. That was wild.
That was in there. Both teams now trying to recuperate, I think, from that. We haven't seen any more shots come off because of it. I mean, it is in favor for shots for October Sky right now. But Blue, the Elysian Esports team, trying to get one of their own. Arasi with a shot. That fall down by Blue just gets out, but Arasi finishes it up. And that's going to put them up 2-0.
Arasi with a good fall through. Gordito, those kind of centers are pretty much exactly what you're looking for. You want to hit the top of the net hard. Because the idea behind that is it's coming out towards your team after that bounce. And as a defender, you have to come try and meet that. It's a hard thing to predict, especially we all know the mess the ball came when the ball's above you. It's just a disaster.
Well, that's one of the rules. Stay away from being under the ball. A demo coming out for Orange. That'll allow them to get some boost refills and try to push into the blue zone. But that's getting stopped in the corner. Gordito Bandito now has ball control, and he keeps it. That possession may roll up, and that could be a good opportunity, but Infidel Castro is going to stuff that, but it sends out for Arasi. Doesn't get a good nose on that, and that's going to get touched down by Orange. And now the shot once again by Elysian, but it rolls up to the side. The pressure is unrelentless at this moment, or relentless. That's the one.
Close. But yeah, I'm a little like I don't like seeing all this wall play off the back on defense. Both teams are doing it. They're sticking on that back wall, trying to pull those cool Spider-Man saves. Like you don't really need to do that. You really need to be a top player to make a good clear out of that, and it's really not that necessary at all times. You see a maneuver right there. It hits the ceiling, bobs right back down. If someone was countering that, it would have been right in net. So it's a scary maneuver, and both these teams are doing it pretty prevalently. So I don't know. It's not what I was ready for.
Pass, though, from Blue to Infidel Castro. He's not going to be able to follow that one up, but Blue does put it right back. No one in net. This could be a goal, and it is. Blue capitalizing on everyone from Elysian, missing that ball. And that's going to be only a 1-goal deficit, 2 minutes left in this match. Very, very doable for October Sky.
Yeah, that was a good fall through by Blue. He hits it off the back wall, follows his own pass. Good on his teammates not to overcompensate. A lot of times what you'll see is a team, a teammate goes to bop it off the back wall and his teammate comes in really quick to follow through, even though he sees his own teammate has that shot. It was good on them to sit back and let his teammate do what he does best.
Blue almost went up for that, but his teammate was there. And now he's going to take a shot himself. Rossi, can he make it in time? He does, and he puts it in a very good spot for his teammates to follow up. Elysian all up on the wall to get this out, but Fidel has a shot, and it's not going to go in as Bandito pushes the side. Once again, very good placement from his saves. We're seeing him do some very good defensive maneuvers, but they need to get it out of their zone if they don't want this game tied up.
Yeah, it's a scary position when you're, being 1 point up is pretty promising. It's nice, especially when there's a minute 20 left. But it doesn't mean you've won the game yet. I mean, like we saw in other games before, teams have put on 3-4 goals within a minute and a half. They need to be careful that they can't sit too much back on defense, or else they're gonna let October Sky just do what they want with the ball. So they need to make sure to convert their defense into offense.
Hey, I've seen like 5 goals happen in about 5 seconds before, so it is 100% doable. The shot almost coming out for October Sky, but that is still not in the back of the net, and that might go in. What is that class with the pinch shot? It looked like pushing that from their own zone across the entire field off of Infidel Castro. What a good opportunity, and he seized it.
A little bit of an overcommitment there by October Sky, but they had a teammate back in the corner going for boost. He took the ball cam off, maybe a lack of communication. If you're gonna rotate back, a really good tip for anyone that wants to know how to go back for boost, if you're gonna drop back for it, line your car up to the boost without ball cam and then turn ball cam back on. You need to know when that ball's coming to net, because that was very savable by an October Sky player.
Very true. Orange putting on the pressure. They need to get 2 goals within 30 seconds. Blue is going to be the one to touch it, keep it at midfield. Infidel Castro following him up. The pass doesn't get the touch on it, and that's actually a really good opportunity for Blue to get out, but there's no pressure. John to one to touch it, keeping it in. The pressure is pretty good from Orange, and that's a shot. Arasi, open net. No one to follow it up from Orange. 16 seconds left. Still 2 goals they need. Blue not going to be able to touch that in time. John gets it instead, but now Elysian Arasi has a chance to put 1 more in the net, as it looks like this is over for game 1 for October Sky, as Elysian Esports takes it 3-1 or okay, 3-1, and a great showing from both teams. We see an insane amount of shots. Look at that shot. We got 10 shots coming from October Sky, and then only 4 though coming out of Elysian.
Yeah, one of the things I saw those teams do, their offense, all their goals really seemed to be just like happenstance. If there's a mistake from the other team, we saw a little earlier today. You want to turn something. You want to turn your plays into something yourselves. You got to touch to each other, pass it, do predictions. You want to cheat up. Let's say I'm a defender and I'm about to hit it into their half. Either I keep control and keep it near me, or I've got a player to hit it to. You always want to have a target or a goal to do it with, and neither team was really showing that a lot this game.
No, it's true, and only a 2-goal difference. I mean, what do you think October Sky has to do in the second one? We saw a lot of shots come out. There's nothing in the net for them.
Yeah.
What do they need to do to capitalize on those opportunities?
October Sky needs to make sure that they keep together and they work with each other. There were a few times that a few of them would go for the same shot, a few of them go for the same save. And clearly they had a lot of shots, so they have the aggression, but they need to make an opportunity out of that. Just taking a shot doesn't always result in a goal, as we see there. They need to make sure that they're making an opportunity to put the ball in the net, whether you pass it to somebody, juke it over somebody. there are a lot of options. We need to try and take advantage of them.
Well, as you said, we saw a lot of overcommittance, and that comes from bad communication. So we're going to see if they can correct any of those mistakes that they made the last match as we start off Game 2 against October Sky against Elysian Esports. Elysian looking to take this as a 2-0. October Sky trying to tie this one up. Very doable for them as both teams fill up on those boosts. We get some action started at midfield. Class up with that Batmobile shot on net, and that's the first one. Absolutely no one in net for October Sky.
The kickoff mishap, this always happens. You see teams go up on kickoffs. They seem a little like ungathered. They don't really talk with each other. A lot of teams feel, oh, I know how to organize by the time the game has started, but they have no idea how to do it in those very first few seconds, and they really need to stay gathered and make sure someone's there on defense.
It's a very critical point, as you mentioned. Any bad kickoffs can result in a quick early goal. Only 20 seconds into this match, and Elysian up 1-0 on that scoreboard. Let's see if they can get a good pinch coming out of Class. Blue's going to connect with that. Gordito Bandito trying to get up, but realizes he's not a good spot. Blue's going to set it down for his teammate. Very good clear coming out of October Sky. Rossi there to pick it up and send it right back. Good position from Gordito. Almost sneaks in that far corner, though. Gordito Bandito has been doing a good job of covering those nets and those angles, but that one almost snuck by. Good pinch from Infidel off of Class, kind of getting that reverse. He's like, I didn't like that goal that happened last time. Let's send it back to Eurozone, see if we get one of our own.
One of the things you got to be careful of as a team is when you're going from defense to offense, don't get excited. I know everyone's kind of got, quick feet, they got, or happy feet, but you don't want to push someone out of goal too quickly. If you have two people advancing and you're that third guy and you really want to be in the play, be careful. Until it's out of your half, it can go straight onto target, whether through a pinch or through a hard hit. And I've seen both these teams kind of maybe inch up a little bit too much, and it could be devastating later in the game.
John now carrying that down. There's no one in Elysian's net. Can he get the shot? He does. Gordito Bandito almost gets it to the side. We've seen him do some very good defensive plays, but there was nothing he could do about that one.
They overcommitted too hard. There's no way Gordito was ever going to get back in time for this. It was good on John to actually notice he has the time. It's a lot of one of those times you kind of freak out. You have an easy shot, and you're like, oh, no. Now I really hope I don't miss it because it's such an easy shot. Hopefully his teammates kind of told him, like, you've got time, you've got time. Communication's a big key in this game because ball cam really can take the view away from you, and you don't really get the view that you need when you're taking shots like that.
No, it's true. As much as you don't want to try to babysit your teammates, it helps when you tell someone they have time, because then they can just take a nice, clean shot without having to worry about missing. They're going to try to get another one right here. This might go on the far side if Blue connects, but he doesn't. That's still out front. No orange there to do anything with it. It's going to give Blue, Elysian, the opportunity to get out. They're still stuck in their nose. The bump trying to come from John. Good recognition that if you can't play the ball, play the body, and that's what he was doing. Fortunately for Arasi, he recognized it was coming, and now they're in their own zone. Open net. This could be a chip shot. Blue trying to read it, and that's going to roll in.
Yeah, both these teams haven't been keeping their aggression up for much longer than two or three shots. We just saw October Sky had 2-3 shots on goal, but they had, like, let's say 1 shot, 2 shot, and then they'd kind of back off. They would let Elysian kind of half clear it. They try and counter it, which is good, keeping it in their half, keeping the pressure, making them, work on their feet and think quickly. But there were 1 or 2 times the ball kind of floated above the net when they could have put it in, and they just had a good counterattack from Elysian to sink it in.
Class trying to get a play started up, but that ball placement on the pass was a little wonky. Both his teammates not ready for that. Arasi getting some boost. Class as well up, connecting Infidel Castro. They do a completely even 50-50 on that one. The wall shot. Arasi with a double touch off the roof, trying to do something with it, but this ball's not really moving anywhere as Blue finally gets it out of their zone. Elysian trying to make an attack. A shot from John, almost connected. Blue, net open, and he takes the shot. The bump on Elysian, I think they bumped each other, and that's what led for that goal.
Got to be careful on defense. Got to communicate. Gordito just smashed his own goalie. It was a good shot from Blue, but very blockable for anyone that's prepared and ready. But when you swipe your own goalie, I mean, good luck blocking it.
No, exactly. Shots are still very even, and so is the scoreboard. I think that's what 2-2's a tie. That's a close score. We got 2 minutes left in this match. Class putting it out. Good try from Arasi, but that's going to go into his own net. He did try to get the block, but Blue snuck it by him. Blue MVP in this one with 2 goals now on the scoreboard.
Getting good placements. Blue seems to be that third man in this attack of October Sky. He waits, lets his players do their passes, he's looking for an opportunity for Elysian to not have a great clear or have a bad touch. And then he comes in and just screams it right in the net. He's done it twice so far in a row. I think those are his last 2 offensive touches from what I can tell. He might have touched it 1 or 2 other times. But good read on him and being that third player, that good third position.
We need to petition for blue to switch to blue team. It keeps confusing me. Shot almost from Infidel Castro with that nice fruit basket on his head. 2 Elysian members up on the wall. It's going to give October Sky an opportunity to set something up, but that ball in no one's possession right now in the neutral game. Infidel Castro with a nice touch, roll up the wall, class. Good idea to touch that. He's going to get the second. 2 team members up for Elysian. He's going to give a shot for blue, but that's way off the backboard. No one's going to follow it up. Arasi, good recognition to get that ball just away from that slot.
Elysian's covering each other's balls nicely now. They seem to have a little bit more confidence. Plus, being a goal down, they know they need to pick up the pace. Maybe they're just like, we got to do it now or never. Let's end this series while we have a chance. I'm just, you know, with a 2-3 game, they've both really been ping-ponging it around back and forth. So this could either be up to one really good play or one really unfortunate mistake.
Precisely. Now we have 1 minute of gameplay left in this match. Team Elysian needs to get some pressure started. You're going to see this is a team that knows what has to happen. Shot coming from Arasi. Nice placement. Blue's probably going to touch. He does. Leaving it to the side. No Elysian member going to be able to follow that one up. The pressure is real. It hasn't left October Sky's zone yet, but their defensive rotations are very strong, and they're keeping any shots from going into their net. 30 seconds left. 1 goal. Elysian needs this, although it's back into their own zone. They're going to get some boost. They're going to try to make a push as Blue wants another shot. John almost following that off the backboard. They want this. They want the comfortable win. They don't want a 1-goal win.
They want to make sure that they're still in this. And winning this by any more than a single goal will hopefully sink the morale of Elysian, maybe keep them from thinking that they're just going to get an easy win in the next game. I'm excited to hopefully see this go into game 3, which I don't know if we've seen yet today.
Yeah, no, it's been pretty dominating of all the matches that we've seen so far. But that one, I was called up before, very close. Look at the shots. Only a 1 shot. No, absolutely same shots. No, it's a little more in blue. Sir. Math again. I have these problems. I have all these problems. But Team October Sky, they did it. They figured out what they needed to do. They started getting some greater breaks, some more shots on net, and breaking up Elysian's defense.
They made a few better opportunities, but both teams still don't seem to be making the connects that they could. I know these guys are capable. I've run into just about all of them through the ladder. They seem timid, all of them. They're lacking a little bit in trust. They're not touching to each other every single time. They're letting their drives kind of die back a little bit. You know, they'll get 2 shots, and then they're like, I don't really want to go for the 3rd one. I'm a little scared. Don't. You got to go. You got to keep the aggression up.
It might be a bit of that confidence. And as you get more through this match, you start to have confidence in your teammates. You start to know these guys have been playing together for a bit. So we should, especially on Elysian. Not sure about October Sky, but definitely on Elysian, they should have that confidence in each other to push forward a lot stronger than they are, as you mentioned. We're going to get into game 3, though, and see if they can pull it back, learn from their mistakes, and see if Elysian Sky can now take game 3. It's going to be interesting. It's very close, very close. I'm hoping, again, that overtime, I want it.
Yeah. Any kind of game 3 overtime is just always exciting. And this really is up to either team. It's up to these guys to fix their mistakes or start capitalizing on other teams' mistakes just a little bit more. I know both teams are very capable of dominating this next game. And I've seen it happen where it's like, it seems like a tie and then another tie, and then just one team just straight up goes for it. It ends in like a disaster. So maybe it'll be even again. Maybe one of them will really just pick up the pace, grow the confidence, and just like, let's do it. Let's just end it now.
Is there anybody on any of these teams that you think is needing to take that step first on either team, either Elysian or October Sky, that needs to take that step to help their team push forward?
I couldn't tell anybody specifically or any particular person that really needed to take that step. They really all just need to work together. It is a team sport. We mentioned it. All 3 of you are just as important as each other. Some people, yeah, they tend to adapt to more defensive or offensive roles. You know, we talk about players like Husky or Pluto, more defensive, and then, you know, we get people like Kronovi or Gambit a little more on the aggressive side. But overall, like, you need to work as a team. You need to all do the same thing. You need to be capable of it as well.
Yeah, precisely. I question just, I saw Batman actually in this match class using the Batmobile, and I know some people are shouting the pay to win, or some people are saying, you know, it's not as good as you think. What are your thoughts? I mean, that.
I know the boost gets a lot of hate, but it's a fine car. I know there's a really good EU player, Ermagerd. I got to give him some credit because that guy does work with the Batmobile. I know Genocop uses it quite often as well. I don't know, for those of you that don't know, the different car shapes kind of, they're all the same technically, but they have different shapes, so their hitboxes alter the way you can maneuver the ball while it's on top of you. Let's say the taller cars, you can dribble a bit more. The flatter cars are a little bit easier to maneuver in the air because it kind of makes more psychological sense.
Yeah.
And they also, you can get flicks. Like when the ball's on top of your car and you do the front flip and that ball just pops up in the air, great passes for your teammates. It's again, personal preference. None of them are better than others, but it's yeah.
That's something that a lot of new players actually don't recognize, that there are differences between the cars. You have some bigger hitboxes that allow, that comes down to preference some of the times. Some of the big differences, though, your turn radius, the Batman having one of the best, allowing some great positioning. But we are getting to the match. We're going to see if that Batman can get some, as I mentioned, good positioning to get some great strong plays. Coming out from Elysian, already a shot on the net, Infidel Castro. Going to stop that one in its tracks, as a wall play may come out. Good stuff from Class, reading that wall shot from October Sky. The shots coming out already from Elysian, the pressure, unreal.
October Sky is grooving up a little bit. Again, it always takes a team a good 30 seconds to a minute to get off that first kickoff drive. They always seem, like I said earlier, they seem a little untogether, a little frizzled up. They tend to take a little bit of time to gather each other's defenses, gather where they are, and also watch what the other team's doing. Some teams do take about a minute or two to get that aggression on, and some just take about it, like they do it off the bat, right off that first kickoff.
It's very true. Now, Team October Sky trying to make an opportunity, or sorry, Elysian trying to get the shot. Gordito Bandito just missing a little bit. And now no ball pressure, though, coming from Elysian, and that's going to allow a shot to almost sink in the net. This is another opportunity. John, good recognition of the patience, really, to just take that ball off the backboard and sink her in the far side.
Very good patience by John. Touching that ball so gently, he didn't a lot of people tend to freak out and use that second jump of theirs, and it overpowers the touch. He jumped up just enough to get the touch, pounced it off the back wall, and no one is there to contest, so he's like, well, I'm going to take it if you're just going to give it to me. Thanks for the gift. No one contested it, his teammates weren't there, so he just took it.
Yeah, and sometimes that's the thing. Ooh, open net here. A little bit of a malfunction from Blue, doing that side flip a little bit too soon, I think, or too late. And that's just going to roll in front of the net for Arasi to pick up. Nice, easy shot in the center of the net.
Speaking of gifts,
yeah,
right back in, right back in. Those are hard to predict when they were coming off that. Everyone, even I, thought that was going to bounce. But if you're kind of timid on it, don't dedicate yourself to it until you know you have to.
Yeah,
hard to deal with, and not really his. It was obviously kind of his fault, but it was a really hard thing to deal with.
Tightest match we've seen so far, still tied up. About a minute and a half of gameplay has passed by so far. Elysian doing their best to keep the ball from entering into their net at this moment, and they start to create an offensive play. Good setup. Arasi and Class were ready for that, but it's going to get sent back to their zone. Good touch from Class in that long Batman hitbox. Always connecting. There's a couple of those moments that any other car, especially the Takumi, that may not have happened.
Yeah, I mean, the other issue is when you have these different hitboxes, you need to learn how to deal with the one that you're using. It's obviously you're the one that got to choose it. No one could ban the car before you showed up. So if you're going to use the car, you gotta understand how tall is it. When do I need to jump? When don't I need to jump? What can I do with a dribble? How slow can I take this ball? It's really up to the player at that point.
Yeah, low level doesn't matter too much. Once you get to top level, the small things start to matter. Now we have Elysian trying to get some more shots on net. We haven't seen any actual shots come out in the past about a minute and a half of gameplay. John connecting with that. Arasi now setting something up, doesn't connect the second time. Class is going to push that to side to see if they can get another rotation going. Gordito Bandito recognizing what Class was doing. This could be the play right here. Arasi to follow it up. Now we have an open net. Gordito Bandito has to race against John to get back. John putting that out for his teammates, but no one followed that up. Would have been a great scoring opportunity for them there.
Yeah, Elysian is doing a good job of keeping the aggression up, but they gotta make sure to rotate back on defense. The biggest thing about having a great offense is that you need to make sure you've got just as good of a defense. Any team that's super strong, you look at happen with even Monster House teams like Got Bad Power, they're all in the other half putting on great, amazing offense. But if they don't rotate back quick enough, they're gonna let goals sink in.
This ball dangerously in front of Elysian's net. No one really doing anything with it. No shots coming strong, no clears coming strong until Class gets a hold of it. But look at that block from Infidel Castro, way preemptive up in the air. That's gonna allow them to start making a move of their own. Arasi, good clear. Gordito Bandito trying to get a chip shot out to the front. Doesn't happen, but he may get off the wall here. He's going to leave that one for Class. Now it's a 1v1 for October Sky, trying to get a shot of their own. Good connect from Elysian. Let's see if we can have either team start to make a play as we sit around midfield. The shot coming out, Elysian will not follow that up. A good little touch from Blue to keep it out. As both teams going, again, back and forth. 1 minute of gameplay left.
They both broke out the defense, and I'm glad to see this. They're letting that third person sit back this time. It's a tie game in the third game of the match. They don't want to give it up, but sometimes sitting back a little bit too much, it's working out for them right now. And honestly, they're kind of putting each other at a stalemate. They're taking the shots, but they're making sure they have somebody on defense. Almost a shot coming out of Gordito Bandito. But again, blocked by the October Sky defender.
It's going to be another pass opportunity, though. Elysian starting to put some great aerial pressure in the top of the slot. Gordito Bandito going to get that up so it doesn't roll in front of their slot. Let's see if Class can get a good clear. He can. Now Elysian poised up to make a good opportunity, scoring opportunity, but that's going to fly way back. That's not a spot you want that ball. Going a bit over the net. Infidel Castro trying to follow it up. Blue going to be the one to touch that with his nose as Elysian scrambles to get the ball out. 20 seconds left. Not a spot you want to be if you're Elysian. Orange putting the pressure on October Sky. Blue out to his teammates. No one there to follow it up. Now Gordito Bandito by himself doing what he can. Can he get the stuff? He cannot. 5 seconds left. This ball may go to the overtime. This is in front of Orange's net. This is a dangerous spot, but Arasi can't connect with that. Throwing it back to his own zone. He's got to hope that touches the ground because now he got to put that in a bad spot. That is in front of Elysian's net. This ball is not touching. We have no time. If this touches, it's over. If someone scores, it's over. That could be it. Oh my goodness, Blue. He couldn't connect, and we are first overtime, if I recall correctly, of the RLCS.
This is really good to see a game going into the third round, or the third game of the match and overtime in the final game. Both these teams are giving it their all. They're both trying to make sure that they don't let any goals in while also scoring, and it's tough to do that. It's tough to make sure you've got somebody back on defense while also putting up good connecting shots. We've had the honor of being able to see some of these teams do it really, really well, but these guys are showing that it's way harder said than done, and those guys have been showing really well earlier in this championship.
Blue was almost in a good spot to take a shot from his teammate, but now Rossi to Class. That pass, oh my goodness. Elysian finishes it off with style, jumping down with a Rossi. Nice little dribble with that Octane. Nice second touch. Class recognizing where that ball was and pushes it past the last defender, and that's going to finish it off 35 seconds in overtime. 2-1 for Elysian and 2-1 also for Elysian in the match.
Very close. I love seeing games like this. I love seeing series or matches that end when, you know, that final game goes into overtime. So exciting. Both teams played pretty similarly. They had similar play styles. They seem to be learning each other still. I don't know how long these guys have been playing as a team of 3, but maybe they'll be able to, we'll see how they do in their brackets.
Hey, they did a very good job, but we're going to go see what the analysts have to say about this. Golden Boy, what do you got?
Thank you guys so much. And I mean, wow, what a game. It went to game 3, then going to overtime. I almost feel like you called that. Or you called it earlier, but you know, we'll just give you the credit. Gibbs, we'll give you the credit.
I kind of know what I'm talking about sometimes, once in a while.
All right, so game 1. I mean, really, the thing that you got to talk about in game 1 was just whatever the heck happened, you know, for that goal. That we actually have a clip of it because it was kind of absurd. Kind of absurd, Gibbs.
Yeah, so this is the Sad Junior special, if you haven't seen this before, and we'll just go through this. Just everyone missing the ball here. Like, once one miss happens, everyone, it's just a chain reaction of misses, and
And not only, by the way, we don't just have that one clip. We have from, like, nearly every freaking angle you can think of.
Oh, like it's Infidel missed that tip.
Oh,
the Class trying to kick it out, can't kick it out. John just whiffs, just panic whiffs.
It was, like, right there, too.
Oh, man, that was inches.
It was like, yeah, not even, man.
Like, Infidel's got to put that first shot in.
Got there, a great touch there from Class. It kind of killed the forward momentum. That kept that ball from going all the way in. And then finally, this Blue had the opportunity. We just couldn't touch it.
Everyone really wanted to be a part of the fun over by the blue goal.
It was a lesson in astronomy, just going around the ball.
Yeah, right. Well, of course, you know, game 1, again, close matchup regardless between these two teams. Elysian looked great. They, you know, they were able to pick up that first victory. But then we go over to game 2, and then, you know, you look and you see that, I mean, were there poor communication between the two teams in game 2? I mean, that was one thing I picked up from what the commentators were saying, also from what I was seeing as well.
So Carpet was saying with the Spider-Man saves that everyone's trying to do the Spider-Man saves. Now, personally, I'm Team Captain America, so I like to be on the floor.
I'm Team Iron Man all day, dude. We're fighting.
Let's go, Team Captain America.
Civil War.
So I like to be on the floor for saves, but they tried a little too hard to pull off the Cooksier moves on some of these plays, and then bad rotations kind of killed them too.
Yeah, we saw Elysian, they had a miscommunication where on a defensive rotation, someone rotated back into goal and they bullied the current goalie, just making a completely clear goal. That's what resulted in that equalizer. And then the following kickoff, there was such just great aggression and they scored immediately, and that just kind of broke the spirit there in game 2, and that's what saw Elysian lose in that game 2.
Yeah, one of the things though I did like from Blue, as a matter of fact, was he had the 2 goals in a row, kind of just, popped one off, and then immediately after, just no fear, went right for it again. That was obviously a great series of events there for Blue. But then going into game number 3, one of the questions I had for you guys was it good defense or was it just bad offense? And Gibbs, I want you to take this one because I'm sure you're breaking it down in your head as well.
Yeah, it was a mixture of both. Like John right here had a great touch to put that in front and then finish it for himself. Blue's defense throughout this whole series was a little subpar. Like this was just a whiff on defense. You can't have that happen in these close games.
Well, we saw Arasi just really coming up clutch for this team right now. Like he had 5 saves in the first game. He had great saves that turned immediately into counter plays in game 2.
2 people missed there.
And then right there at the end, he really is my MVP of this series. Like he was able to set up that overtime goal.
Yeah.
Class just had to dunk it. That's all he had to do. So while there was great offensive capitalization on the part of Arasi, he also had some amazing defensive plays that resulted in their win.
All right, well, that's going to do it, folks. Of course, a great matchup, but coming up next, we actually have a really good game. I'm quite excited for this one.
Baby.
It's going to be No Clue facing off against Vex Gaming. That is going to be intense, and I cannot wait to see it, guys. Hopefully you are just as excited as we are over here at the desk, and we'll see you in just a few.